The Normandy was a ship owned and built by the French line. Wait a second, this isn't the Normandy video. That's been delayed due to technical difficulties editing part of the video. Where is the script for today's video? Here it is. In World War I, the Cunard Line lost many great ships, including the Laconia, the Franconia, the Lusitania, and Carpathia, and way more. This meant that when the 1920s came around, Cunard would need to replace their losses, leading to the construction of what would become one of the best Cunarders to hit the waves. Her name was to be the Franconia. The Franconia was to be powered by 6 steam turbines with double reduction gearing that drove her 2 propellers. Unlike her predecessor, she didn't have 2 funnels but instead had 1 singular funnel. Interior-wise, I can't find much about her. What I do know is that she had a squash court and gymnasium, and was basically just a mini Aquitania, hence the name of the video. Now as for the construction process, she was launched on the 21st of October 1922. And completed in June of 1923, meaning as of writing this video, the Franconia is 100 years old, so is about as old as half of the US Congress. Thankfully for the Franconia, World War I wouldn't become a franchise until 1939, meaning unlike the previous ship in the Cunard fleet to bear that name, she was able to actually have a peacetime career that lasted more than 5 seconds, and believe you and me, this career was not uneventful, as in December of 1926 she ran aground at San Juan, but was thankfully refloated. She also had a collision in Shanghai Harbour when a Japanese cargo ship and an Italian gunboat didn't get the memo that their hot new collaboration wasn't for another 10 years and accidentally crashed into the Franconia. But hey, don't worry if you're excited to see the First World War's epic sequel, as the Franconia would soon find herself involved in that. In September of 1939, Hitler looked at Poland and thought, why not make a sequel to the largest crossover of all time, and invaded Poland, plunging Europe into the Second World War. This led to the Franconia being requisitioned as a troopship by the British government. At some stage after this, she would have a collision off the coast of Malta, but was lucky enough to be repaired just in time for the Norwegian campaign, which she was able to survive. And as if that wasn't lucky enough, she survived a few close encounters with some German bombs with only some mild damage. After this, she would go on to transport troops all over the world, including India and parts of Africa. She would even become the headquarters of the British delegation at Yalta. Now thankfully, for those located in Europe and Asia, the Second World War would eventually come to an end. And after the conclusion of this Second World War, the Franconia would go on to repatriate British troops, up until her return to the Cunard Line. In June of 1948, the Franconia was returned to the Cunard and was almost immediately sent off for a refit. After this refit, she would go on to carry many immigrants from a war-torn Europe to Canada, which was arguably worse, as who wants to live in Canada? Oh wait, don't tell 91 Mustang. Anyways, before an army of angry Canadians break down my door and drown me in maple syrup, let's finish off the video. As in 1950, she ran aground in the St. Lawrence River and had to be pulled and repaired. She would continue to sail after this until 1956, where she would finally be sold for scrap. By the time of her scrapping, the Franconia was famous for her around-the-world cruises, leading to the Cunard renaming their Ivernia to Franconia to continue the name, and to confuse me when I eventually write the script for the Ivernia video. And in recognition of all immigrants the Franconia sent to Canada, a model of her was sent by the Cunard to the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic in Nova Scotia. And if you wanted a tad bit of trivia, an American songwriter called Cole Porter composed a song whilst on board her in 1935. Hello everybody, it is I, Captain Oblivious Mist, and I am back with another epilogue. The very first epilogue of 2024. I'd like to start this epilogue off by saying thank you to CJ Odell for suggesting the idea for this video. And I'd like to continue off by saying, sorry about the delays of the Normandy video. I do intend to get this out at some stage later this month, but I also realised I should probably get a video out soon before everyone thinks I've just disappeared. It is good to be back. How's everyone's years going? I have actually got another video in the works for Mist Bandit, and another one in the works for Captain Oblivious Mist, if you look at my community tab. So stay tuned for that, because there's going to be a ton of projects coming out across Mist Bandit and Mist Bandit and Captain Oblivious Mist this year if all goes to plan. But anyways, enough blabbering on. Thank you all for watching, everyone, and I shall see you in my next video, which might be on the Kaiser Wilhelm the Grosser, it might be on the Athlone Castle, hell, it might be the Normandy. At this point, I've just given up formatting what video is going to be next, because at this stage, nobody knows. Just, I know I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.